All right, get ready for a deep dive, because today we're going to explore some seriously mind-bending stuff. Ever wondered what it would be like to chat with God, like right after you die?
Haha. Well,
That's basically the premise of the material we're diving into today. And it's not your typical, like, fire and brimstone kind of thing either. This one's all about reincarnation and the soul and, like, the purpose of life.
oh, and it also gets into this crazy idea that we might actually be every single human who's ever lived.
Yeah, it really gets you thinking.
Ready to have your mind blown?
I think so.
So this deep dive is definitely a little more philosophical than our usual stuff.
For sure.
So just a heads up, we're going to be venturing outside the realm of hard news and research here.
Absolutely.
But trust me, it's going to be worth it.
It always is.
So the material we're looking at starts with this really wild scenario. You, the listener, have just died in a car accident, and boom, you're face to face with God. Yeah, and it's fascinating how the source material just jumps right into this cosmic chat. It doesn't get bogged down in any specific religious doctrines or anything. It just throws you right into the deep end of existence.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical Sunday school God, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
This God is more like a guide, a mentor who's there to help us navigate some seriously big questions.
Right, exactly.
So the conversation pretty quickly turns to reincarnation. But it's not just about being reborn over and over again, it's about experiencing all human lives throughout all of history.
Yeah, the whole thing is really about getting this cosmic perspective, seeing the bigger picture.
It definitely makes you question everything you thought you knew about life and death.
Absolutely.
So the source material really emphasizes this idea of the soul being vast, way bigger than we can imagine. It uses this really cool analogy, comparing the soul to a glass of water and our current life to a finger dipped in it.
Yeah, that's a really powerful image. It's saying that the finger, our current life, is just a tiny fraction of the whole. The water, the soul, contains everything, all the experiences of countless past lives.
It makes you realize how limited our current sense of self really is.
Totally.
It's like we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to who we truly are.
Exactly. And that's where things start to get really interesting.
So if our souls carry all that baggage from past lives, right? Do you think it's possible that some of our talents or quirks in this life are like echoes of those experiences?
Oh, I think that's definitely a possibility.
I mean, like, maybe my terrible cooking skills are a karmic consequence for burning down a bakery in a past life.
Uh-huh. Who knows? It's a fun thought to play with.
Seriously, though, if our souls contain the memories and skills of all our past selves, it makes sense that those past experiences would shape us in ways we might not even realize.
Yeah, like maybe you were a concert pianist in a past life, and that's why you're so musically inclined now.
Or maybe you had a past life with some social anxieties, and those anxieties are still with you today.
Right, it's fascinating to think about.
And the source material takes it even further, hinting at the possibility of actually interacting with our past selves without even knowing it.
Whoa, now that's wild.
It makes you look at every interaction in a whole new light. Like, what if that annoying coworker you can't stand is actually you from a past life trying to teach yourself a lesson in patience?
It really makes you question the whole nature of relationships, doesn't it?
It does.
Like every encounter could be layered with these echoes of past connections, past loves, past betrayals. It's mind-blowing.
And it makes you wonder if there's some deeper purpose to all the seemingly random encounters we have in life.
It's definitely a thought-provoking idea.
Okay, so you die, you have this chat with God, you learn about reincarnation, and then what? What's the point of hopping from one life to another for eternity? Like, is it all just a cosmic game of musical chairs, or is there something more to it?
Well, that's where the idea of spiritual evolution comes in. The source material suggests that each lifetime is like a step on our soul's journey towards growth and understanding. The ultimate goal is to become more like God.
Okay, but what does becoming like God even mean in this context? Are we talking about getting superpowers and creating universes? Because I'm not sure I'm ready for that kind of responsibility.
Uh-huh. Well, the material doesn't get into specifics, but it does encourage us to think about the qualities we associate with a divine being, like wisdom, compassion, a deeper understanding of how everything is connected.
So it's like we're all on this journey towards enlightenment, constantly learning and growing with each lifetime.
Exactly, it's a process of spiritual evolution.
But doesn't that kind of imply a certain level of determinism? Like, if we're all on this predetermined path to become godlike, does that mean free will is just an illusion?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's one that the material doesn't really answer. It leaves it open for us to ponder.
Hmm.
Like, is there room for genuine choice within this framework of spiritual evolution? Or are we just playing out roles in some grand cosmic play?
Well, buckle up because things are about to get even weirder. The source material drops this bombshell, and it's a big one. It says that you are not just one soul, but every soul that has ever existed and ever will exist.
Whoa.
Yeah, talk about an identity crisis.
Yeah, it's a truly radical concept, isn't it? The idea that we're not just individuals, but like fragments of this single universal consciousness.
Right, and that it's experiencing itself through every human life, past, present, and future. It's
Yeah,
like almost too much to wrap my head around, you know?
I know what you mean.
It means that every interaction, every act of kindness or cruelty is essentially us interacting with ourselves, just different aspects of ourselves.
Right, and that really challenges our whole framework of morality, doesn't it?
It,
Like, if we are both the victim and the perpetrator, how can we judge or condemn anyone's actions?
yeah, it definitely blurs the lines between good and evil, and it makes you rethink that whole karma thing too, you know? Like if we're all part of the same cosmic soup, who's keeping score?
Yeah, it's like, are we just doling out cosmic justice to ourselves?
Right.
It raises some really interesting questions about accountability and responsibility, for sure.
It does.
If we're all interconnected like this, then every action we take has these ripple effects. It affects the whole, not just ourselves.
So it's not just about me, myself, and I anymore, right?
Right.
It's about understanding that our actions have consequences for everyone and everything.
Exactly. It's a shift from a mindset of scarcity and competition to one of abundance and cooperation.
It's about recognizing that we're all in this together.
Literally.
Okay, so we've got this idea that we're all connected, all part of this one universal consciousness. And then the source material throws in this other curveball. It describes the entire universe as an egg.
Ah, yes, the cosmic egg metaphor. It's a powerful image that's been around for centuries, showing up in all sorts of different spiritual traditions.
But what does it mean in this context? Is it just a poetic way of saying that the universe is round or something?
I think it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
The egg is a symbol of potential, growth, transformation, all that. The source material seems to be suggesting that the universe itself is nurturing these souls, these fragments of consciousness. It's helping them develop and evolve.
So we're all like little cosmic chicks growing inside this giant universal eggshell.
Uh-huh, in a sense, yes.
Mhm.
And it makes you wonder what happens when we hatch, what lies beyond this current stage of existence.
Right. Like, does the egg eventually crack open, revealing some whole new reality?
It's a possibility.
And if the universe is an egg, does that mean it has a lifespan? Like an expiration date for existence itself?
Those are questions that the source material leaves open to interpretation.
Yeah.
But it definitely points towards this idea that the universe, like everything within it, is in a constant state of flux and transformation.
Okay, so we've covered reincarnation, the soul, the idea that we're all connected, and now this whole universe as an egg thing. I'm starting to feel like I need to lie down for a minute.
Uh-huh, I hear you.
But before we do, let's bring it back to our listener for a second. What are the practical implications of all this? Like, does knowing all of this change how we should live our lives?
Well, I think it definitely challenges our perspective. It encourages us to move beyond a purely individualistic worldview and really consider the interconnectedness of all
So
things.
it's not just about focusing on our own little bubble anymore. It's about understanding that we're all part of something much bigger
Exactly.
and that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. It's
Precisely.
like instead of worrying about me, myself, and I, we should be thinking about the impact we have on the collective, right?
Yeah, on the whole cosmic egg, so to speak.
Okay, but let's be realistic here. Even with this grand cosmic perspective, we still have our individual lives to live. We still have to deal with all the everyday challenges, you know, the anxieties, the heartbreaks, all that. So how do we reconcile this mind-blowing cosmic perspective with the very real struggles of being human?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But maybe this understanding offers a sense of comfort and perspective.
How so?
Well, it reminds us that our individual struggles, however painful they may seem, are part of a larger journey. They're part of this cosmic dance of experience and evolution.
So it's like we're all playing our parts in this grand cosmic drama,
Exactly.
each role contributing to the overall narrative, even if we don't fully understand the script.
And maybe that's where the true beauty lies,
Mm-hmm.
in embracing the mystery, in recognizing that there's so much we don't know.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe we don't have all the answers, but at least we have some pretty mind-blowing questions to ponder. Like, what if all those weird coincidences we experience are actually glimpses into past lives?
Or what if that gut feeling we get sometimes is actually the collective wisdom of all our past selves trying to guide us?
I like that. And here's another thought. What if the reason we find certain historical figures so fascinating is because we're actually remembering fragments of our own past experiences through them?
Interesting.
Like maybe that's why I've always felt a strange connection to Cleopatra. And it's not just the eyeliner.
Uh-huh. Right.
You know what? I'm actually starting to see the appeal of this whole cosmic perspective thing. It's like kind of comforting in a way,
Yeah.
knowing that we're all part of something so much bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. It's a really profound shift in awareness. And it doesn't negate the importance of our individual lives or anything.
Right.
It just offers, like, a framework for understanding them in a larger context.
So it's not about denying our individuality, but about recognizing that our individuality is like interwoven with this universal tapestry of experience.
Beautifully put. That tapestry includes not just our past and present selves, but all the people we interact with throughout our lives, too.
Right, so many connections.
It's a reminder to treat each other with kindness and compassion, recognizing that we're all on this journey together.
Oh, that reminds me of that old saying, treat others as you would like to be treated. But now it's got like a cosmic twist.
Uh-huh, exactly.
It's not just about being nice, it's literally about being kind to different versions of ourselves.
Right, it adds a whole new layer of meaning to our relationships.
Hmm.
Every interaction becomes an opportunity for growth and understanding.
And maybe it takes some of the pressure off too. Like if we mess up, if we make mistakes, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's just part of the learning process, part of the cosmic dance.
And that makes it easier to forgive ourselves and others, right?
Exactly. We're all works in progress, after all, constantly evolving and learning.
You know, I gotta admit, this deep dive has really shifted my perspective. I never realized how complex and interconnected reality truly is.
That's the beauty of exploration, isn't it? Pushing the boundaries of our understanding, realizing there's always more to learn.
More to discover, more to wonder about. So, as we wrap up this cosmic journey, let's leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder.
Okay, I like it.
If we truly are all interconnected, like fragments of a single consciousness experiencing itself through all these different lifetimes, what does that mean for our understanding of love?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is love just a recognition of our own essence reflected back at us?
That's a beautiful question. And maybe the answer isn't found through intellectual analysis,
Hmm.
but through actually experiencing connection, empathy, recognizing the spark of the divine in everyone we meet.
That's a great point. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries of the universe. And remember, even if you're actually every historical figure who ever lived, you still have to navigate this present moment. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time for another exploration into the unknown.